I think it's going to go really well.
I agree. I think it'll be really fun.
Hi all. Look at this lighting is terrible. But
you got me as I was blowing my nose. You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait 30 seconds. WTF, Jen?
I was like, on, and you're like, I'll just take my tissue.
Like, what? Thanks a lot. Screw you, hippie.
Hippies.
God damn it.
We will take that off for when we you know what, maybe I'll even take it off for the life thing, but
whatever, why don't we just leave it? It's totally fine.
Okay,
it's human nature. It is what it is. I just have to give you shit about it.
okay, totally. Give me all the shit you want about it. Welcome everybody to Untethered Talk. We're changing the name slightly because we've decided to put this up on podcast. So now instead of Untethered Talk with Robin Thomas at 2:00, which I love that name.
Same.
It's now Untethered Talk with Robin and Jen.
Exactly.
Not as catchy, but more descriptive.
More descriptive, more inclusive, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just like the Thomas, the talk, the 2:00. It rhymed. There was alliteration.
I know, I get it. Fantastic. So maybe we need to be more creative about the name.
Okay, we'll come up with it.
We'll work on that.
But everybody, we're deciding to put this up on podcast, so that is why we're changing the name. All right, Robin, how are you doing? Aside from the nose blowing.
I am great. Now that my nose is blown, I'm good.
Good to hear. Get that out of there, and that's good.
It's all.
I know how that is. Other than that, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually glad it's Friday. It's been a long week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good overall. How are you?
You had that pain in your shoulder.
Yeah, and it's still there, TBH, and so it's just like been like kind of taking focus away. What?
I've been sending healing vibes to you, so it shouldn't hurt anymore.
I feel that, and I woke up yesterday morning and I felt your energy and I felt Sue's energy. You both had sent it to me, and I woke up in the night. I was like, oh, it was kind of cool to actually be able to distinguish both of your energies. It was really kind of neat, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I had cool. No idea.
That's why I was like, it went through. I felt it. Like I could feel your energy in there. It was really cool.
That's really awesome. Like I didn't think that was how it worked, but it does.
Yep, that is how it works.
Every time I figure something else out, like I was talking on this Untethered Fridays this morning, and I was like, all the woo-woo stuff, that's the stuff that's true. Nothing else makes any sense. Who is that? The woo-woo stuff, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, listen. I've been living in the woo for like 25 years. So
I considered myself woo until I met you. Wow.
Yeah, honestly, I am the rainbow sheep. I am this.
I love it.
Right. I am that person in most of the circles I'm in. So I'm used to that being I'm the woo.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I mean, but I considered myself spiritual and stuff like that. This is just a different level.
Absolutely.
Okay, so today we're going to continue our discussion about self-love. I'm not sure if we want to go all the way to the wedding, because now that we've put the wedding back to March 11th.
Yeah, we might have to change tacks a little bit.
Let's say through the weekend after the Valentine's Day, or the weekend up to Valentine's Day, which is really only next weekend. We can discuss it later.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like January felt like it took 6 months. Like it was the longest month ever. And now February, like next week is Valentine's Day. I'm like, what?
No, January went quick for me too. Every month it just gets quicker and quicker. The more you the more you want it to slow down, the quicker it gets. Because the more attention you're paying, I suppose, right?
I guess.
Anyway, blah
blah blah. Self-care.
Yeah, self-love, right?
Right.
You mentioned to me a really perfect topic because I was talking about it earlier on one aspect of it, and then you were saying it was coming up a lot for your students. So would you like to explain that?
Well, I just had a conversation with almost every client I had this week about getting present in like really getting present in the moment and getting into their bodies, like really getting, like staying right now in this moment. In this moment, what do you feel? What do you notice? What's here? So it came up in our class. It came up with a whole handful of clients this week. Just like noticing what's here, what's present right now. That's, I don't want to say even up to deal with, but like, what do you notice right now in this moment? Like it's not past or future. It's like, what's in this moment right now? What's in this moment right now? What's in this moment right now? And that really came up all week long, which usually is an indication that it's up for us to
to deal with.
It's in the collective.
It's in the collective. I love it. I love it. How can we look at this through the lens of self-love?
Well, I think it's the crux of it. So we we're practiced at the art of ignoring whatever's going on in our, like, we really are aces at ignoring
like
what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And so as a society, we're just trained that way. We actually put a lot of emphasis on not being too emotional or too sensitive or any of the other bullshit. So I think that as a society, we don't have a great deal of practice. So the extreme self-care that the most extreme version of self-care is to actually honor and be with whatever is present for you as the truest and realest thing you have available to you. That's the most extreme version of self-care you can practice.
That's okay. So earlier I was talking about it, and I'm kind of jumping the gun to the end result here, but it's the way to enjoy your life, really, in the end.
Yes.
And we can step through this, but it is the ultimate way to allow yourself to enjoy your life.
It's kind of the only way to enjoy your life.
It is the only way, but you should allow yourself to.
Yes. Well, because so think about it. If you have something that you're trying to avoid experiencing, right? You're trying to avoid this thing, whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. If you're trying to avoid some feeling, some experience, there's a part of your attention and energy and focus that's always going on, not that thing, not that, not that, not that.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how present you are, there's still a part of you that's focused on the not that, which is actually where, when you have that much energy and attention going to that not, that's what you're calling to yourself all the time. All
don't I know it?
Right? As you may be able to attest. Right?
I think I could probably point out 1 or 2 times in my life that's happened.
Couple, 2, 3, whatever.
Just like really minimum though.
Yeah, right. All of us maybe have a couple, 2, 3, whatever. So right. so they have the attention of not that, and then you get another situation where you're like, well, not that either. So now you have your attention going to not that, not that, not that, not that, not that, right? So and then something else comes along. It's like, well, definitely not that. So ultimately, over time, you're getting more and more and more hemmed into this tiny little space where you can't actually turn without fear of running into something that you're terrified will actually feel or happen.
That is a conversation.
Yeah, right?
It is another conversation to have.
Whole another day. But so if we can start allowing in this experiences of sensation, the experiences of feelings or physical sensations or emotional experiences, good or bad, when we start allowing them in, they move through us, so it's not so painful, and then we're not so focused on I can't do that, can't, right? So now it's like you've got fingers in the dam, right? You're trying to stop all these leaks.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's so if we're practicing self-care and we're talking about life enjoyment, how much are you enjoying your life if you're doing this constantly?
You're not.
Right.
at all.
And then what happens is we need more and more addictions that take us out of ourselves. So there's more and more focus on the external. There's more and more focus on the outside world, going out to bars, binging on Netflix, drugs and alcohol, sex, people, right? So we constantly get then focused on some other, just so that we don't have to feel, just so we don't have to be home in our space.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Sounds a little familiar. I can relate to that.
we've maybe I mean, I did this dance for years, right? Like 40 odd years, right? Like that was, I mean, maybe we'll give my first 2 or 3 years that I wasn't doing that, but like
right. The first 3 years, the problem was forming.
Right, exactly.
But you spend the rest of your life trying to fix it.
Try to fix the fucking problem. And I think so when we're talking about self-care, what we're really talking about is honoring that whoever you are as is completely okay. Whatever you feel is okay. Whatever you think is okay. Whatever you experience is okay. And it's only that when we judge it or attach to it or try to avoid it, that it gets to be the problem.
There are like 3 different things that I want to talk about in what you just said. But let's start with the one that just happened and we can work our way back.
Sure.
So practicing self-care, practicing love in this way. I mean, like we were just saying, this is your life. It's your life. It's not, oh, your life. It's like the time between birth and death. You choose whether you enjoy it or not, whether it's wasted or not. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a huge mindset shift for some people. For most people, it was for me. Yeah. Like, I have a choice.
And I think there's lots of people. I think there's lots of people who actually wouldn't even agree that they have a choice.
Oh, I know a lot of those people.
Yeah. Right. It just is the way it is. This is how it is.
Yeah. Like other people make me do stuff.
Right. This happened to me. Right. It was like, this is because of that. I feel this way because that happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Not owning anything. And you know, it's funny when we first start hearing about that, when okay, speaking for myself, when I first started hearing stuff about that, you know, it was in my depression. Like I heard that stuff when I was in my depression, right? Okay. And I'm just like, these people are fucking crackpots. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have to be. You know what I mean? Like, right. I made up every excuse in the book to continue feeling the way that I was feeling. Right.
Most of us do.
So, yes. And so, you know, like the last thing I say in becoming untethered is always remember you can always choose to have a grateful day. And that, I mean, that's just true. And if you allow yourself, if you deem yourself worthy of enjoying your life, because I think that's a big part.
That's a big deal.
So a huge part, maybe all of it in a sense, is allowing yourself to be worthy of life.
As is. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing you have to do to earn it. You don't have to, like, as is. And that's why I say we're talking, this is the extremist version of self-care and self-love that we can have.
Right. Like people don't feel that they deserve to feel good.
Right.
I certainly didn't.
Most people, I think, and again, I think because we're trained from birth that we have to earn it, that love is something that's conditional. Love is something that, like, if you meet these criteria as a good person, as a good woman, as a whatever, and most of us don't fit that model. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't even, that's obvious, right? Why? That's because, and that's also another 50-minute long conversation. So, It's both obvious and something we need to dive into.
And is the crux of the work I do. I literally teach women how to fall in love with themselves all day long by saying you're enough as is and getting them to believe it. Right. So that's my career.
It's not just a conversation.
Right.
All right. Yes. It is your career. And there are a lot of us that are grateful for it. And for you. So I'm grateful for you, just so you know.
Thank you. Same.
So, okay. That I think is a big, obviously, that we were just saying, is the feeling worthy of life and enjoying your life is part of self-care. And the way you enjoy your life is through sensory experiences, sensuality, second chakra.
Well, because so and we're not talking sex, although that's a part. I mean, sex is amazing, but that's when we're talking sensuality, we're not talking sex, but we're talking the physical, visceral experiences of being alive. So the body sensations, like Patty was talking the other day about how excited she got that she was like she could feel her heartbeat and the lungs expanding in her air, the air expanding in her lungs and her blood traveling all through her body, and like all these the neurons firing, all these different systems while she was driving. And she had this like moment of like sort of ecstasy of getting to be really present with her body sensations. And she just was like delighted by it, to listen to her talk. I mean, it was like her eyes lit up, and it was really kind of a fun experience to just listen to her talk about that. But like, it's like that at the most basic level, you know, I had a healing given to me the other day where I got to be a 3-year-old.
Yeah, you were saying that. That's really cool.
And like the 3-year-old was like, she said, "What do you notice?" And I was like, "My toes." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I has toes." And like the 3-year-old was like wowed by the fact that she had 10 toes. She has like, "I have toes on each foot." And then there's like a hand and another hand. And she was completely wowed by the fact that she had all these parts of her body that just kind of worked.
Yeah.
Right? That's sensuality. Like taking a sip of, like, I drink my protein shake with the chocolate, and I take a sip of it and I can hold it in my mouth, and I'm just like, I let it linger there, and it's like it's savoring that moment.
And it's not just with things that you put in your mouth.
No, it's not. It can be. Again, if that's your preference.
Not only. All right. Let's move on from this juvenile. It's so fun though.
Absolutely. And you have to laugh. I mean, that's one of the, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody laughs at stuff like
that. And second chakra is the passion for life, right? We were talking about this the other night too. So it's like you're like, everything builds on everything else. You get your first chakra, that's your body, that's your physical world, that's your root. Yes. Immediately right above it is the second chakra, which is passions and emotion and joy. It's the birthplace of it. And that passion is what then creates the third chakra. And the third chakra is actually how you move out in the world. It's how you take action. So if you don't have passion and enjoyment, you can't actually move forward and take action in the world. You can't actually show up as you without the second chakra being online. And when we shut down feelings and we shut down sensations and we shut down sensuality and sexuality and eroticism, which is the life force, we don't have that push. We don't have anything to push us out. We can't be who we are.
That makes a lot of sense. Excuse me. Backing up a little.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll start with, okay. So, yeah. So we're talking about how, you know, there are emotions that you push, and by pushing them away, you're holding on to them.
Yep.
And then it just, throughout life, it just, everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not just here. It's everywhere, not only in your body, but in your aura and the entire energy field around you.
Yep.
Believe it or not. And I know this because I feel that shit now. It's crazy. It's not crazy. It's amazing, which is what I mean by crazy.
Yes.
And the thing is, the more you pile in, not only the less space you have, but the less ability to like, so these are what some Michael Singer would call samskaras, right? So your Shakti is going up and you just can't, there's no space for it at that point.
So you can't be in the flow of life.
You can't be in the flow of life.
Yes, truth.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly putting blocks up, packed it away, so you can't actually be in the flow of life.
And you can't really be in the moment.
Right, exactly.
Like that's when you're covered with some scar, like covered inside and out, full of them.
And most of us are, Jen. I think that's the point. I think we want to really, there's nothing. So it's not that this is wrong or bad or something we have to fix, because there's nothing going wrong and there's nothing to fix.
Right.
Coming to awareness of it, though, and then allowing that it's okay. Allowing it's okay to have these things that every time something comes up, it's like, oh, great, another opportunity to heal, another opportunity for growth, another opportunity for joy. Like every single time something comes up, you're like, oh, fantastic, I get to heal this, right? It's like when you get to that level, there's no good and bad. It's just an experience that comes in and goes out.
One of the things that you and Michael Singer, not that I know him personally, but listening to his stuff, have mentioned is that I just got distracted by that thought, and now we're talking about samskaras, we're talking about flowing, we're talking about
enjoyment of life, and it's no good or bad experiences, they just come in and out.
In and out. Right. Okay, yeah, no, I lost it.
It doesn't matter. What I was talking about is emotions, energy in motion, emotions, right? That it's meant to flow. It's water. It's fluid. Life force is fluid. Eros is fluid. It's meant to flow. And we're here as humans to experience the full spectrum of life.
Sensuality.
Exactly.
So the rest of us are that spirit stuff. Once you have enough samskaras in there and there isn't a flow, it's like anything that comes in gets stuck.
Yep. And that's what creates disease, dis-ease.
Yes. Okay, so I think that's that. Going by, I'm like looking at my, like, I quickly was like, I want to talk about this. What is going on there? It's like some, anyway. All right, yeah. So, just because those stuff I wanted to back up into, because it's really, really, I think, very important for people to realize that in order to love themselves, this is the shit they have to work on. And it's hard.
Oh yeah, no, this is not.
This isn't like, oh, I have some scars, let me just go. Like, no, they're there, and you have to release them. Yeah. But that's the thing about releasing stuff like that. It sounds hard, but it's actually really easy once you get it, because it's not about pushing away. It's not about holding tight. It's actually about relaxing
and allowing. Right? Yes.
Like, emotions are supposed to come in and go out. And I never got that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Emotions go in and they stay in.
Right? Well, last night you and I got a little bit into a conversation about, I was like, just let it go. And you're like, I have to do this shit first. And I was like, except you don't, because it's up now, right? So.
And that is another thing to point out here, is the up now thing. I mean, I know you're just talking about it, but I'd like to kind of go into it a little bit more. when something is up, it's like you can be walking, and I think this is what I wanted to say. You can be walking down the street, you can be driving, you can be doing whatever, and all of a sudden one of those thoughts that from like 20 years ago comes up, and everybody does that.
Right.
And it makes you feel bad because there are things that you store are always uncomfortable. And
so when you have those experiences come up and you're walking down the street,
yes.
It's not necessarily like convenient.
That's when it's up. Yes.
Right. But it's up to be healed. Right. So if you can in that moment feel it, sit with it, allow it, just acknowledge it. Hey, I see you. Right. Or just kind of check, like just in that moment, allow that thought came in, allow it to come in and go out, allow that feeling to come up. And if it brings up something, great. It's just bringing it up to be healed. Like when I was in my dark night, I was in such a devastatedly dark place, and I couldn't find it. I just couldn't. So I was like, I think I cried for 1.5 years straight. Like I literally just was never not crying, but like I had to work, I had to function, I had to be in the world. So I would go to work and I would be teaching, and I was teaching. I was in a corporate, I worked for a big corporate healthcare agency, and I was the clinical educator. It was my job to run orientation. That was my job. I was the team leader. And so I had a big deal, but there would be times I would be teaching in a meeting and I would feel something come up, and I knew that if I tried to stuff it back down again, it was just going to come out sideways. So I would it's at my earliest convenience, I would actually just be like, hey guys, let's take a break, run to the bathroom, whatever. And then I would go to the bathroom and I would like allow it to come up, and I would feel, sometimes I cried my heart out for a minute or whatever it was, just enough to get some space from it. But I had made a commitment to myself that I wasn't going to do what I had always done, which was shove it aside until I had time for it.
I think it's really, I don't know what's wrong with my brain today.
What if nothing's wrong with your brain today?
Okay, nothing is wrong with my brain today. It's just not remembering stuff that happened 3 seconds ago.
You maybe have a couple, 2, 3 things on your head, in your mind.
Maybe there's a few things in there. I don't know.
Maybe.
It had to do with all right, anyway, one of the things that I was just thinking was you mentioned the word space. They actually take up space.
Oh yes.
It's actually physical space that they take up.
Yeah.
And when you let go, this is what I want to talk about. You're talking about allowing them. And I think I know for me, when I was back in the day, I didn't get like allow. Well, it's here. I don't have to allow anything. It's here. It's forcing itself on me.
True.
And what I discovered, this is when I fell in love with Michael Singer, was when he said, let it go. And I'm like, let it go. Come on. Like everybody says, let it go. If I could let it go, I would have let it go. How do you do this? Okay. And he's just like, you relax. Relax.
and I think it's that I think that is both true and simplistic, right?
Yes.
And again, what we're talking about is when we have fought so hard against something, that resistance is creating the problem. Because anytime you push up against something, it pushes back. So what he's talking about in relaxing is he's talking about not fighting it. So right. So it's letting go of the judgment around whatever it is that you're feeling. It's letting go of it's not convenient. It's letting go of this bad, terrible, awful thing that is happening to me, and simply being present, okay, 100% like non-judgmental of whatever you feel, think, experience.
I get that. You're still using that like letting go and allowing and stuff like that. What it actually was for me was physically relaxing my body when these things would come. Like I don't relax, like, because when you just like, I would have been like, you're saying letting go, you're saying allowing, you're saying, like, how the fuck do you do that? And the physical, the thing that you do in order for that to happen is to relax your body.
And I would say the thing that you do to allow that to happen is to breathe.
That is true. Deep breath, relax.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, and then you can start paying attention to where it is in your body.
Absolutely.
And once you find that, you can release that part.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes diligence.
Yes. It takes concentration.
Focus and time. And I think that's a problem for people too. We're in this like McDonald's boom, boom, boom. Like if it takes more than 2 seconds, I can't wait.
Right.
World.
Right. Yep.
Where they're like, no, this is a lifetime thing, guys.
Yes.
There's
Callan
no
May says
destination
consciousness
here.
is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And that is true. It is truth because you're right. It does take focus. It does take discipline. It does take attention. It doesn't necessarily take a long time space in this moment, but it takes a long time to build up that practice and that discipline.
Yes. It's something you have to keep at, a practice. It's a practice.
Exactly. That's why it's a practice.
Yeah, that's why it's like yoga.
Exactly.
and law.
and anything, medicine, anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Medical practice, yes. And that's why, like you're saying, it's like radical, extreme self-love.
Yes.
Because it is the work of your life.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to say you have to. It is advisable that, you know, if you want to actually love yourself, this is what you have to do. You have to allow the idea that you're worthy of it, that you can do it, that you should do it, that you have time to do it. It's actually the thing you should, like, it's actually a priority.
That's the priority.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, well, yeah, like I was saying yesterday, like I'll feel it in 10 minutes. Like I got to do this.
Right, exactly. And I got a little fierce with you.
I'll lay down and just think about this now and just allow myself to feel. And
think about our brains, though. Our brains actually don't have the capacity to really do multitasking very well. So if you're focused on this thing, this feeling, at least half of your attention is now not on the thing that you're actually doing. Or feeling.
In the moment. Yeah.
So you're carrying it rather than letting it go, and then you could actually focus on what's in front of you. That's in front of you.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, work, life, kids, spouse, who cares? It's in front of you.
Right.
But if your brain is here, you're not.
It's life. Yeah, exactly. Right. And one thing that I was really surprised by, and this was the first time this happened to me, was years ago. This is, you know, like several years ago. I was working with my therapist and stuff, and I went to a gathering, a social gathering at my friend's house, and some things that made me very just like, I don't like competition. I don't like it. It reminds me of being young, and you know, I was the last kid picked in gym kind of shit, like that stuff, where I'm just like, I reached a point where I'm like, I'm not trying. I'm not going to try. If you try and compete with me, I'm just going to let you win, because that's what happens anyway.
Right.
You know, so I don't like competition. And then these people were all comedians who worked with each other, like in improv groups, and then me. And it was like, oh, we're doing like a game where it's like, the competition was who could be funnier. And I'm like, are you shitting me? You just do this professionally and it's competition? Like, no.
I actually have nightmares about this shit.
This is a nightmare. But at the same time, it was like, I couldn't just go. I mean, I didn't feel that I could just go, screw this shit, or even just like, and you know what, I'm gonna take off. Because at that point, it was already established that I could stay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, I will stay, you know, for a reasonable amount of time and then leave. Like, so I was like, okay, I'm leaving at midnight, because it was late in the evening. And I'm sitting there and I am just dying for midnight to come, like just dying. Like, and of course, when that's happening, I'm calling all the shit that I'm afraid of to me.
Right, and exactly.
all of it. Everybody saw how uncomfortable it was. Just so, I mean, I'm sure for them it was like, oh my God, like so uncomfortable. Like, yeah, it was, and so I left the house at like, I was like, okay, midnight, gotta go.
Yeah.
I left the house and I burst into tears. And I just like, I was walking over to my car and I wasn't wailing, but I was just, I mean, you know me, I cry.
Yeah.
But like it was once or twice an hour. I was walking over to the car and I was just allowing myself to cry. And I didn't realize that that's what I was doing, but I was just like, oh, like this is awful.
Right.
I got into the car and I stopped crying. And I was like, this feeling's over.
I was your sun, you ruined your stars, and it went away.
Second. It was really bizarre. Like it was the first time I had let a feeling go. You know what I mean? Like, and
yes.
I've talked about that for years now. It's amazing.
Because so you let yourself feel it fully
yes.
and completely.
Yes. And that's what people have to do in order to let these emotions go, in order
right.
to feel them completely, live in their life, be in the moment, and allow it to pass.
Exactly. Like, do you ever watch a little kid? Man, little kids cry their hearts out. And then they're like 5 seconds later, they're over it.
Yeah.
Because they let it go.
Yeah. They let it come through them and they felt
exactly.
And they're done.
And then they're done.
They don't, that was the thing for me too, coming out of the, like, I didn't understand that emotions don't just stay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, because depression is not sadness.
No.
And for me, it's like, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be sad because I'm going to get depressed again. You know what I mean? Like that was.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
So I didn't
Depression
know that.
is anger turned inward, right? Depression is, first of all, it's a chemical imbalance, but it's anger turned inward at yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's what depression is, right? So that's not 100%. Sadness.
I know, but that's not how I saw it back then.
I think that's how most people don't. I think that's when we talk about the stigma of mental health. I think that's one of the stigmas is like, well, just do this. Well, if I could just do this,
it's
not just sadness.
Oh God, like for Christ's sake, if it was sadness, if it was just sadness,
or just sadness, not to right, but like,
I know. But if it were just sadness, it would not be here anymore.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I think that's really important.
Yeah.
In self-love, right? This is the ultimate, like you said, this is the ultimate expression of self-love, allowing yourself to enjoy the sensations. And that is where my mind was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, because you've been saying things like, okay, you know, you're upset, get in touch with your senses, blah, blah, blah. And that was difficult for me to do because it's like, now I have to focus on senses instead of focusing on the feeling that I'm having. And I don't really care about what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about that. This thing in my head is much more interesting to me. And, you know, so it was always a challenge. But when we were talking the other night about sensuality and I got uncomfortable, and that's something I discussed earlier today. And it's something I am determined to let go of.
Great. Fantastic.
The idea that like the naming the things that feel good, like, you know, like Sue with the boat and Janae with the music.
Yep.
You know, just, and me, I mentioned dancing. You know, just these are just the moments in which I'm loving life.
Yep.
And then I'm thinking, like, I was going through my head and I'm like, you know, that moment when it's springtime again and you can finally wear something a little bit lighter and the wind is against your skin and you haven't felt it on your skin for like 6 months.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, that's a great feeling. And then I'm just like kind of going through my head, like other things like, yes, this is really nice. Like, this is velour.
Exactly.
And then like smelling stuff I was talking about, you know what I mean? Just like there's so many senses, so many things to enjoy.
Absolutely.
Overlook. You know what I mean? Like, and the idea that you can enjoy them instead of just trying to focus on them when you're trying to stop focusing on something else.
Right.
Rather than that, you're like, hey, you know, this feels really good. Cozy, you know.
And I think that, like I said, unless you allow that emotion to pass through you, focusing on something else is now just another distraction.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's almost another addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be, if you don't understand that it's enjoyable, then it's just a distraction.
I would even argue, Jen, go so far as to say that even the sadness gets to be enjoyable. Like even the crying your heart out then gets to be enjoyable, then gets to be a sensation, gets to be just something that you're experiencing. So like even the anger, right? Can you feel the power in anger when that flares up like that? There's power in it. So can you be in love with that power in that emotion?
This is something I've thought a lot about, because it's something Michael Singer talks about a lot. And yeah, I mean, I think about myself and who I am as a person, or what my mind and my heart are like. And I am someone who drinks deeply from the cup of life.
Yes, you are.
And it's just, I love big sensations. Right. You know what I mean? And it's I think it's a matter of recognizing that that's actually how you feel. Like, right. I'm a type 4 Enneagram. There's something about sadness that I'm addicted to.
Naturally.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, it's so sad.
And sometimes it's just the simple thing of coming out of the sadness that feels so good, right? Yeah. But regardless, that's allow that to be okay.
Yes. Allow everything to be okay.
Absolutely. Allow everything to be okay.
The stuff that you're like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Don't like it, then. You don't like it.
So then don't like it to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like bring it up. Like Patty just taught me this new method to do, like feel your feelings deeply and then fall in love with the feelings, and then fall in love with the power of the feelings, and then feel in love for yourself and feel the power of that love. And like this whole 7-step process that you do, six but you do it like 3 times. You do it only for like 2 breaths, right? So it's like the whole thing takes you like 2 minutes maybe.
Okay.
And then you do the whole thing again, and then you do the whole thing again 3 times. So by the end, you're like here versus here, and you've given full expression to all of the feelings that you felt. And I did it when I was sad, and I did it when I was happy. And so I went from sadness to like, it's okay, I got this. I went from happy to like joyful, grateful. Oh my God, if I were any better, I'd be twins. Right. So it was super cool to go up the tube and down the tube, both allowing those both expressions to be.
Yes. And enjoy, like you said, enjoying even the lower vibrations, because that's the symphony of life. Right. And that is another way to love yourself, and enjoy your life, is to allow yourself to be in those things. And then and that's pretty clear what we were talking about, letting it pass through, but like really sensorially, like even not like sadomasochism, but even pain is an experience. And you get this life, you only get a certain amount of time, and if you're not paying attention to that time, you're not paying attention to your life passes you by. Right. And if for 1 second you get a paper cut and you're like, son of a, like, like, I know, like,
oh God.
But even then you could be like, not like, oh, this is an experience, but like, oh, it's an experience. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's enjoying life. Yep. That's what that is. It's not only enjoying it
when it's good,
when it's doing what you want it to do.
Right. Right.
But enjoying even the lows and the highs and everything.
And then when you learn to do, and I do have to because I have to go get the kid, when you learn to do that, and I'm still learning this. This is like whatever. This is lifelong mastery, right? But when you get to do that, you get more of what you love. You get more of the joy. You get more of the peace. You get more of the sacredness that you desire. It's kind of paradoxical that way.
But it's true, because life is sacred.
Exactly. And divine.
And divine. And divine. And everything is in between.
Exactly.
Like everything is energy.
Everything, literally everything is energy.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know you have to go. There was one more comment I just wanted to make. We were talking about see, I get distracted. I'm not focused.
It's me. I have such a magnetic personality that it's
I'm
I
like,
completely can take you
wow,
around.
just stare into your eyes forever.
Your eyes are like pools in the moonlight.
I'll write some poetry for you.
Remind me to tell you the joke about the lesbians, by the way.
How many jokes about lesbians?
Oh, there's a million jokes about lesbians, but I saw a skit, I don't know when, in the 80s, 1,000 years ago. It was like this guy found a genie on the beach, and so one of his wishes was, I want real girl on girl action right here, right now. And so there's these two really like dykey women stroking each other's hair, right? And I can say that because I am, right? But they're stroking each other's hair and they're like touching each other's face, and one woman says to the other, your eyes are like pools in the moonlight. I could get lost in them forever. And he's like, what the shit is this? And he's like, and the genie says, you said you wanted real girl on girl action.
This is real.
This is the truth. So it was really, it stuck with me forever. It made me laugh out loud funny. Yeah.
That is really funny. What's the comment I was going to make? Talking about this, I'll think about this another time, but I thought it was really like one of those like, oh yeah. Comments. Yes.
When it comes back, you text me and we'll add an addendum.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, cool. So you gotta go, and that's always a good thing because we would talk forever.
Truth.
All right. So this is the first episode we're doing as something that's going to be a podcast.
Absolutely.
Thinking that it's going to be a podcast. So thank you all, anywhere, everywhere, throughout the space-time continuum, for coming and listening.
And those of you guys who are watching, because there's 3 people who have been watching us, like, thank you for watching, and like comment and let us know, did it resonate and did it not, or do you want us to tell us to go shit in a hat? But like thank you for watching.
Yeah, see, you got that. I'm like, I don't even pay attention. I get too distracted. But awesome. Exactly. Thank you so much, people who are watching right this minute. We love you and we're grateful for you, and go be some energy.
Bye.
Bye.